My non-greedy and super kind friend, 34-year-old female, has been dating a guy, 34-year-old male, for 5.5 years, and they cannot move past the prenuptial agreement preparation to finally get to a proposal. They want to do the prenup first and the proposal second, by the way. To describe their situation, her job is very flexible, she makes about $75,000, and her boyfriend's is super lucrative at $300,000 per year. Given her free time, throughout their 5.5 years together, she has been spending 10+ hours per week on cleaning the apartment that they rent half and half, cooking every meal, grocery shopping, doing all of their laundry using fickle and faulty machines in the building's basement, and hand washing all of the dishes given that they don't have a dishwasher. Keep in mind that her boyfriend works Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. because he takes on endless cases. Thus, their only time together is after 10 p.m. on weekdays and on the weekend. She feels like she can't talk to him about anything too emotionally trying whenever they have time together because his career is already too overwhelming. In terms of generosity towards her, over the years, he has invited her to go on 3 or 4 vacations to all-inclusive resorts, but she prefers to stroll around cities and learn, not be stuck on a beach chair. Still, he chooses these resorts because he is too overwhelmed from his job, and thus needs an easy vacation. These trips are fully paid for her, and he also typically invites his parents to tag along, who he fully pays for as well. She has told me that it is rather uncomfortable sharing the only time that he has off his demanding job with his parents tied to their hip, but that is the only choice she has. Other than that, he doesn't share any of his money with her. Recently, she told me that they have never ever had intimacy. And to top it off, everyone who meets him, including myself, thinks that he is very feminine to the point of possibly being gay, which would explain why he hasn't been wanting to propose or negotiate marriage terms, and why they have never had intimacy. It should be noted that he claims that he has pelvic floor issues and stomach aches, but he told her that he was sexually active with his 2 previous girlfriends. Every time that she has offered to have intimacy with him throughout their 5.5 years together, he claims that he needs to be in the right headspace, so maybe another day, or that he has a stomach ache. She has admitted to me that her biggest fear is that in 10 years, he leaves her for a hot young girl at the office because she feels like some sort of placeholder. All of the intimacy stuff doesn't bother her, but I see it as one of the main obstacles for the prenup and proposal. For the prenup, he wants entirely self-serving terms that would initiate in 2028 when they finally get married, a year chosen by him, and he wants all of the wealth that he has accumulated over these 8 total years, 5.5 years now plus 2.5 years to get to 2028, to be entirely his. He tells her that he needs to focus on accumulating a lot of personal wealth because he is scared that his pelvic floor and stomach aches will be so debilitating that he might not be able to work later in life. They have been to several doctors, by the way, who have all confirmed that he is 100% healthy, with none of these issues evidenced. I can't help but think that this guy is super selfish and possibly gay, and that he is using her as his personal assistant without any clear sign of actually being committed to her in his heart and soul. I don't care about my friend wanting to marry a possible gay man, but I believe that this explains his hesitation towards marrying her and sharing his wealth because, in the long run, he likely does not want to divide his wealth with a woman. Their relationship feels too convenient for him, almost just transactional, with him getting tons of services at zero cost. I hate seeing my friends suffer waiting for him to agree to an earlier wedding date and fairer prenup. Not half and half, but maybe something like she would share 50% of his savings for a wedding date in 2024 or 2025, not 2028. Questions. Is it normal for a couple in their 30s who live together to never have had intimacy? Could this mean that he is potentially gay? Could there be a connection between them never having intimacy and his lack of commitment, generosity? Would you tell her to stop dating him or be more blunt about things to help her in the long run? Would you stop hanging out with this friend as much because a good chunk of our dialogue over the past 12 months when we're hanging out is dedicated to her complaining about his lack of help at home and lack of compromise with this prenup and marriage, it really is taking an emotional toll on me. I see her about 3 times a month. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. She's wasting her time and should move on. This is who he is, and if she wants kids, she may find herself single at 40. I hope she chooses herself. Also, the fact she did 10 hours of free labor a week for over 5 years with no promise of equity means your friend is quite dumb. Imagine if she had invested that time into herself and further education, she would probably be making twice as much money as she is now. Comment 2. Everyone above has had excellent comments about your friend's awful relationship, so I'm just going to address your friendship. If you want to set boundaries about her venting, here's what I'd suggest. You're happy to listen to her problem-solving changes she's wanting to make, and you're no longer going to listen to her vent about problems she's not going to do anything about. Now for the update. Hey Reddit, back again with an update on my friend's prenup saga. You won't believe the journey these past 3 days have been. So my friend, let's call her Anna, and her boyfriend, let's name him Mark, had another talk about the prenup. Remember how Mark was adamant about not sharing his wealth and setting the wedding date for 2028? Well, Anna finally stood her ground. She told him that she felt undervalued and that she wasn't going to wait until 2028 to feel like an equal partner in their relationship. Mark was taken aback. He's not used to Anna being so assertive, given how she's always been the accommodating one, especially with her flexible job and the way she's been managing their home life. But here's the jaw-dropping moment. Mark actually agreed to reconsider the prenup terms. Now, the compromise they reached is pretty interesting. Mark proposed that they move the wedding date up to 2025, which is a huge leap from his original plan. But that's not all. He also agreed that any wealth he accumulates from now until the wedding would be considered shared, but with a catch. He wants a clause that protects his assets before their relationship began and anything he inherits in the future. Anna was hesitant at first. She's been there for him through thick and thin, even when his parents were ill and she was the one running back and forth to the hospital, managing their care. It's not like she hasn't contributed to his life in significant ways. But then Mark did something unexpected. He opened up about his fears, something he's never done before. He talked about his anxiety over his health issues, even though doctors have given him a clean bill of health. He confessed that his fear of being unable to work and provide was the real reason behind his prenup demands. Anna was floored. She had always sensed there was something deeper going on with him. They spent hours discussing their future, and Anna shared her concerns too. She reminded him of the time she had to take a pay cut to help her family and how she never hesitated to put their needs first. She wanted that same commitment from him. In a surprising turn, Mark agreed to attend couples therapy. He admitted that he might have unresolved issues that were affecting their relationship. Anna was hopeful but cautious. She remembered how, in the past, Mark would promise to spend more time with her, only to get swamped with work again. Now, about the intimacy, or the lack thereof. Anna confronted Mark about it, and it led to a very emotional conversation. Mark broke down and admitted that his previous relationships had left him with deep-seated insecurities. He was afraid of intimacy because he didn't want to feel vulnerable again. Anna was shocked but also felt a sense of relief. It wasn't about her or him being potentially gay, as we had speculated. It was about his own personal barriers. They've decided to work on this aspect of their relationship in therapy too. Anna is hopeful but knows it'll be a long journey. She's just glad they're finally addressing the elephant in the room. As for me, I'm still here for Anna. It's been tough listening to her struggles, but I can't abandon her now, especially when things are finally starting to look up. I've been her confidant since college, after all. We've been through so much together, like when we backpacked through Europe and had to rely on each other when we got lost without a map. So, to answer your questions, no, it's not normal for a couple in their 30s to never have had intimacy. But it turns out it was more about Mark's personal issues than his commitment level or sexuality. And yes, there's definitely a connection between their lack of intimacy and his reluctance to fully commit. But they're working on it. I'm not going to tell Anna to stop dating him. They're making progress, and it's their relationship to figure out. And no, I won't stop hanging out with her. She needs me, and that's what friends are for, right? Ex-GF dumps me twice while mom is dying, so I block her, but then she goes on a trip with another guy. Oh boy, I've 32-year-old man. Never felt so low. My mom has terminal cancer, and I had to take her to the emergency room this past Monday, and it just hit me that her time left is really running out. My ex, 29-year-old woman of 4 years, was less than supportive, saying things like she didn't approve of her treatment, Zaza would make everything better, that she would just want to die if she were in my mom's shoes. Told me that I'm not the happy guy in my Instagram pictures from years ago. My heart fell to my feet. That really cut me, I'm aware, and I've been working with a therapist. Started talking about how she had been overeating. We spent more time talking about her feelings in general this week. My ex calls last night while I'm having dinner with friends I haven't seen in a long time, and I told her about those plans. I step out to answer, and she ends things out of nowhere. She wanted to remain best friends. I refused. Said a friend wouldn't do this to me. A friend wouldn't end things at the moment I needed them the most. She cried and told me she was shocked I didn't want to remain friends. Worse still, this happened in almost exactly the same way previously. When my mom was first diagnosed and ended up in the ICU, she called and broke up with me. After I had texted her and said I needed her support, I took her back after a long apology. That's on me. I pointed out that she just did the same thing she had promised to never do again, and that this time I would block her and she was no longer welcome to make this dark time even darker. I will never trust her again. I know I'm vulnerable, and it will be so hard to resist the inevitable "I miss you" text in a week. We had planned to go on a trip next weekend. She told me she's going by herself now. It really hurts. I did so much to make that happen right now, and was so looking forward to it. It's just really hard to realize the person you thought you shared a connection with is so ruthless. I don't know why my mom having a medical event is always a trigger for her to break up with me, but I suppose musing on that is pointless now. I talked with my mom earlier and had to excuse myself to throw up. This is so unlike me. Feeling heartbroken about two things at once is overwhelming. I think it's just too much stress from every direction. I feel like the stress from her has totally pushed me over the edge. Oh, how I wish she had the love to be there for me now. It would have meant the world. How can I calm down? The things she said to me keep echoing in my head. Feeling sad about this, while also feeling sad with my mom, is overwhelming. Was blocking her the right move? Is there anything else that can be said? I'm worried she will change her mind yet again, and I don't think I can handle it. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Blocking her was absolutely the right thing. She is not a partner. She is never going to be there when things get hard. My mother-in-law is going through some horrible health issues right now, and we are not sure if she will know we are in a month or even still be here. At no point in this has it ever occurred to me to leave my fiancé. You would have to be heartless and completely self-centered to leave someone while they are at their worst. I'm sorry about your mom, OP. Keep your friends close, and do not worry if you never speak to your ex again. She does not deserve any more of your time or energy. Comment 2. Your ex is a monster. She is incapable of basic human empathy, so have no doubt she is incapable of actual love. I am sorry she is causing you more pain in an already painful situation. When she missed you, she missed what you were providing for her, validation and love. But she cannot give you the same. The suggestion of remaining friends was only because she wanted to keep you under her thumb without making even the most basic effort to pretend she cared. Tell all your mutual friends how she dumped you when your mother was sick. They need to know who she really is. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, it's been a week since my last post, and boy, do I have an update for you. After I blocked my ex, I thought that would be the end of it, but things took a turn for the worse. So, remember how my ex was planning to go on that trip we had planned together? Well, she went, and guess what? She posted pictures all over social media, tagging me in them, as if to rub it in my face. It was like she was trying to show me what I was missing out on, or maybe she was just clueless about how much it would hurt me. Either way, it felt like a slap in the face. But that's not even the juicy part. The real kicker is that she didn't go alone. She took a guy with her, someone we both knew from college. This guy, let's call him Mark, was always a bit too friendly with her, and I had my suspicions, but she always told me they were just friends. Seeing them together in those pictures, it was clear there was more going on. It was like all my worst fears had come true. Now, let's rewind a bit to give you some context. Back when we were dating, my ex had this habit of getting close to other guys whenever we hit a rough patch. She always said they were just friends, but it was more than that. She needed constant attention, and when things got tough, she'd turn to these friends instead of working things out with me. So, back to the present. I confronted her about the pictures and the trip with Mark. She had the nerve to tell me that they were just comforting each other because they were both going through breakups. Yeah, right. It was clear she had moved on long before she ended things with me. But here's where it gets even more twisted. My mom's condition worsened this week, and I've been spending every moment I can with her. My ex knew this, and yet she still chose this time to flaunt her new relationship. It's like she has no heart. And remember how I mentioned she broke up with me the first time when my mom was first diagnosed? Well, I found out from a mutual friend that during that time, she was also seeing Mark on the side. It's like history repeating itself. Only this time, I caught on quicker. I've been trying to focus on my mom and not let my ex's actions get to me. But it's hard. My friends have been great, though. They've been there for me, taking turns to visit and help out with whatever I need. They're the ones who deserve the title of best friends, not her. It's been a ride of emotions, dealing with my mom's illness and this betrayal. I've been trying to keep it together, but there have been moments when I just had to step outside and take a deep breath to stop myself from breaking down. I've realized that blocking my ex was definitely the right move. I don't need someone in my life who only adds to the pain I'm already going through. It's clear now that she never really cared about me or my feelings. As for my mom, she's been my rock through all of this. Even with everything she's going through, she's been worried about me. She told me that I deserve someone who will stand by me, not someone who runs away when things get tough. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I know I need to be there for my mom right now. That's my priority. As for my ex, I've come to terms with the fact that she's just not the person I thought she was. It's a tough pill to swallow, but I'm getting through it, one day at a time. I keep my last name after family events, and fiancé says he'll change his last name to match. His parents say he's destroying their family and going against tradition. My fiancé, 21-year-old, Alex, and I, 22-year-old, have been together for 6 years, and we are getting married this year. I never cared much about my last name, but after some recent family events, I realized I want to keep mine. Alex doesn't mind and chose to change his last name so we'd match. Upon finding out, Alex's parents, Lisa and Luke, yelled at him. Lisa cussed him out, so my parents let him stay with us for the last week of winter break. We were home on break from college and live a few miles apart. Lisa and Luke say Alex is destroying and disowning his family, publicly humiliating them, and say I'm stripping him of his manhood. They told us we're unbiblical and that women should submit. To them, it's political too. They said the queer community is the reason we are susceptible to this. Transgender people are to blame, and America is in its downfall. This is just another sign. Alex has gotten plenty of texts from Lisa, calling him hateful, cruel, and cold, asking how he can let her suffer. The meetings Alex had with his parents went poorly. They told him they wanted to see him and not talk about the name, but then did. One meeting involved both sets of parents. Lisa and Luke talked 90% of the time before getting up and leaving. They are mad. Alex stayed with us and said even if we go with his name, they would resent us and my family for supporting us. Lisa threatened to cut Alex off and says he won't get another penny. They had planned to contribute to our wedding, stating there were no strings attached, and they fund his college apartment. Lisa said this is the worst thing to happen to her since losing her first baby, and that it's worse than if Alex had gotten me pregnant, ended the life of someone drunk driving, or was gay. She is telling Alex that his grandparents will have to move to assisted living from heartbreak, and Luke keeps telling Alex his choice is hurting people. Their main reason seems to be that it is tradition and that they want the last name carried on. It's not an uncommon last name. I also learned that Lisa borderline tried to talk Alex out of proposing. Alex asked me to marry him anyway, and Lisa called my mom in the midst of the engagement excitement to share her disapproval. They said that they get a say until Alex is married, and that's when they'll leave us be. Lisa and Luke keep texting Alex and my parents, but I have never gotten anything. They openly dislike me now, bad-mouthing me whether I'm there or not. I have decided my relationship with Lisa and Luke is over. It was rocky before, as they tried to push their religion onto me numerous times. Alex is deciding how much more he can give. He hasn't taken a harsh tone or spoken rudely to his parents, but is tired. Now his parents say if Alex won't move back home, their financial support ends. They say the family won't come to the wedding, and one of his siblings actually has left the wedding party. Obviously, I have decided to stay mostly away from Lisa and Luke now, but they are Alex's family. With the wedding still coming up, we are unsure how to move forward. Edit to add, Lisa and Luke's financial support is not necessary, and the wedding will proceed with or without it. Just thought it relevant to point out that the money that was offered, no strings attached, clearly does have strings. We know we are young and are still getting married after spending 6 years together. Postponing the wedding isn't something we are willing to do. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Stop talking about it until after the wedding, and for the rest of your life, stop giving these people details about your lives. Have the fiancé agree to gray rocking them going forward, or there will be arguments about baby names and other stuff going forward. I don't even understand the arguments about baby names. The first anyone knew my baby's name was in our birth announcement. Comment 2. It sounds like he has really good reasons for not wanting to be associated with that last name any longer. Yes, it's not a traditional thing, and people will look at him funny for it. They can just frick right off. If you're happy and he's happy, that's all that matters. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post, and I just had to come back to update you all on the chaos that's been unfolding. So after Alex's parents, Lisa and Luke, found out about his decision to take my last name, things went from bad to worse. They've been bombarding him with texts and calls, each one more dramatic than the last. Lisa even went as far as to say that Alex changing his name is worse than if he had committed a serious crime. I mean, can you believe that? It's just a name change, but to them, it's like the end of the world. But here's where things get really crazy. Alex's parents had always been a bit controlling, but we never realized the extent of it until now. Back in high school, Alex was a star athlete, and his dad pushed him so hard that he ended up with a serious injury. He had to quit sports altogether. Lisa and Luke never really let that go, and it seems like they've been trying to control every aspect of his life ever since to make up for it. Now they're using every tactic in the book to manipulate him. They've even gone as far as to say that his grandparents are so heartbroken over the name change that they'll have to move into assisted living. That's just low, using his love for his grandparents against him. And remember how I said one of Alex's siblings left the wedding party? Well, turns out that was just the beginning. His parents have been rallying the whole family against us. They're spreading rumors and lies, trying to turn everyone on Alex's side of the family against him. It's like they're trying to isolate him so he has no choice but to come crawling back and do what they want. But Alex is standing his ground. He's been amazing through all of this, even though I know it's tearing him up inside. He's always been the peacemaker in his family, the one who tries to keep everyone happy. But now, he's finally putting his foot down, and it's causing a rift like you wouldn't believe. Just the other day, we had a confrontation with Lisa and Luke that I still can't shake off. They showed up at my parents' house unannounced, demanding to speak with Alex. They were yelling and causing such a scene that our neighbors came out to see what was going on. It was mortifying. Alex tried to calm things down, but his dad was so angry that he actually poked Alex in the chest and told him he was a disgrace to the family. It was intense, and I was so proud of Alex for not losing his cool. But here's the kicker, and this is what really got to me. Lisa pulled me aside during all the commotion and told me that I was the problem, that I was the one who had changed Alex and turned him against his family. She even accused me of trapping Alex by getting pregnant, which is ridiculous because I'm not even pregnant. It's like they're trying to paint me as the villain in their twisted narrative. And the worst part is, some people are actually buying it. Alex's extended family has been cold to me ever since, and it's clear that Lisa and Luke are behind it. Despite all this, Alex and I are more determined than ever to go through with the wedding. We've been through so much together, from high school drama to college challenges, and we're not going to let his parents tear us apart. We've decided to pay for the wedding ourselves, and honestly, it's a relief not to have that financial string attached anymore. But just when we thought things couldn't get any more stressful, Lisa dropped a bombshell. She said that if Alex goes through with the name change, they'll cut him off completely. No more financial support for his college apartment, nothing. It's like they're trying to force him to choose between his future and his family. And to add insult to injury, they've been spreading rumors about us to our friends and even some of our professors at college. It's like they're on a mission to ruin our reputations and our lives. But here's where karma comes in the most unexpected way. Lisa and Luke's attempts to turn everyone against us have started to backfire. People are beginning to see through their lies and manipulation. Just yesterday, one of Alex's aunts reached out to us to apologize for believing Lisa and Luke's side of the story without hearing ours. She even offered to help with the wedding preparations. It's a small victory, but it feels like a turning point. Slowly but surely, people are starting to see the truth. And Lisa and Luke's grip on the family narrative is slipping. It's not much, but it gives us hope that maybe, just maybe, things will start to get better from here. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.